So now let's derive the Closius-Clapeyron equation by the first method, starting directly from the first TDS equation. So the first TDS equation we have equation. So it is T capital DS, okay, TDS is equal to, it is written in terms of CV dt plus CV dt plus T into dou P by dou T, can directly start over from here. Then it is dou P by dou T to be V, okay, PV, they are the conjugate pairs, dV. So that is our first TDS equation. So this is the starting point of our derivation. Now let's discuss the case for 1 mole. Okay, 1 mole of the system. Means we are converting the extrinsic variables here like entropy and the volume, okay, and heat capacity. So these three are extrinsic variables here, CV as well as V. Okay, so these three extrinsic variables let me convert to intensive ones. So what you can do for 1 mole of the system or 1 mole of the substance, okay, with this equation number 1 becoming, I can write that will be equal to TD small s. So you note that I have made a difference here in the equation. I am writing small s, okay, that is equal to capital CV. I'll be writing small cv, you know what's the meaning, CV dt plus T into dou P by dou T. There are no changes there, okay. So D capital V, I'll be writing D small v, okay, where you have to remember that small s is equal to capital S by N, okay. Small see, what do you say, V is equal to capital V, total volume divided by N, right? So this is known as molar entropy, and this one will be known as molar volume, okay, molar volume or specific volume also you can say, molar volume. These are specific quantities, right? Thing to be noticed that I am taking for 1 mole, it could have been taken for unit mass also, okay. And similarly, what is small cv? Small cv is specific heat capacity, okay. That is, so all the three have become specific quantities, right? So for 1 mole, molar specific heat capacity to be very precise, because I have divided throughout equation number 1 throughout by N, number of moles of the system, so I will get the relation for 1 mole. So you can directly start from this relationship. For 1 mole, that first TDS equation becomes, you can say like that. So let me, for the time, let me call it as equation number 2. So all the quantities here are specific quantities, remember, okay. Now on the right side you can see a PT diagram, okay. So let me draw a general PT diagram. A PT diagram relating phase transition will have some curves known as coexistence curves, right? We have seen that there are 3 coexistence curves for a simple system, namely the sublimation curve, the fusion curve, and the vaporization curve. So let me draw any one of those curves, okay, because my aim is to just study one phase transition for the time being, particular phase transition. So let me say that let this be one of the coexistence curves. It means that on one side of the curve it will have one phase, okay. Let me say that this is the initial phase, right? And on the other side of the curve there is the final phase, means a different phase. It can be the liquid phase here and the vapor phase here, okay. Like so, going across the curve means there is a first order phase transition involving latent heat, right? Now let me denote, let the value of okay, so some point we can say that, so let the value of the specific entropy, okay, on this side, let me say that this is I, okay, let that be SI, and the value of the specific entropy on the other side, okay, other side means on the other phase, let that be denoted as SF. So SI denotes the molar entropy in the phase I, and SF denotes the molar entropy in the phase F. That's all. Okay. Similarly, VI and VF. VI and VF. VI and VF be the values of the molar volumes on the ith phase and the fth phase. Okay. Or first phase and second phase. You could have named as 1 and 2, but your books are naming it as I initial and final. Okay. So I am just trying to follow the same thing. Okay, right? Now, let me just take see a particular point here. Okay, a particular point here on the coexistence curve. So a point here on the coexistence curve. So corresponding to that point, there will be a particular value of the temperature, specific value of the temperature, and there will be a specific value of the pressure. So you can see that at this value of P and T, see the liquid and the vapor phases, or the initial ith phase and fth phase. It can be anything. Okay, they coexist. Okay. Now, if you change the temperature a bit, say that no, okay, actually it should be very close. I'm just representing it as a bit far for the ease of writing. So let me say that this is a point on the temperature axis, which is a little okay, see, different dt. Let this variation difference be dt. So it is T plus dt here. So automatically you can see that the pressure is also different. Okay, so it's P plus dP, right? Why I'm doing, you will understand, because then you will be able to get this particular thing if you are drawing a tangent to this particular point. Okay, dt and dp should be pretty small. Okay, then it becomes a tangent. See, anyway, you have to actually make it pretty small. Just be careful about that. So anyway, I'm interested in what is known as dp by dt. And what is dp by dt? Actually, dp by dt represents the slope of this coexistence curve at a particular point P and T. So it be about this point. Actually, I have to take the thing, like if this is the curve, if this is the point, what I have to do is that I have to just take a triangle like this, okay, but take it like this for the time being. Now, we are going to relate this dp by over dt with SI and SF, which are the molar entropies on the initial and final states or initial and final phases, and VI and VF. Okay, see, now you know that the first order phase transitions like fusion, boiling and sublimation all are taking place at constant temperature and pressure. So I can say that across the phase transition curve, right? Okay, say that liquid is forming into vapor, the temperature is remaining constant. Suppose that it is happening here. Suppose that liquid is transformed into vapor. So during that process, okay, this curve is getting crossed. So across this curve at this particular point, when the phase transition occurs, the temperature remains constant, fixed at T itself. So I can say, see, during phase transition, I'm taking that property here, during phase transition from I to F, ith phase to fth phase, it can be anything. Okay, from I to F, dt is equal to constant. So, sorry, t equal to constant, or dt equal to 0, right? So dt equal to 0. That is a property for phase transitions. So what will happen? You can just get rid of one term in equation number 2. Therefore, equation number 2 will be reduced to 2. I can write T d small s is equal to Cv dt term will be 0 because dt is equal to 0. So what you are left with is only the second term, that is T into dou P over dou T. Dou P over dou T. Okay. So of course that is at a constant volume. So at V dV. Right. So that is the third equation. Right. Now, what you can do? You can kind of just cancel away this T on both sides, right? So you'll be getting ds is equal to, right? That is what you're going to get. ds is equal to, it will further give you, of course you could have written it in single step. ds is equal to simply dou P over dou T with a constant volume, right, into dV. Now, what I can do is that I can integrate because on the left side there is S and on the right side there is V as a variable here, right? and you know that during the phase transition Si changes to Sf, okay, and Vi changes to Vf, because each of the phase of the material will have its own entropy values and its own what, okay, volume values. You know, see, the entropy of steam is not the same as entropy of liquid water, okay. Due to the latent heat involved, there will be different entropy, okay, and you know that there is also change in the molecular order when it goes from liquid state to the vapor state. In general, for a system, the vapor state will be having greater entropy compared to what, the liquid state, you know. So there is some ds and there is a dv, so you can do integration, okay. So let me integrate. So integrating, you know, where from where to where, integrate according to the corresponding quantities. Integrating actually along the phase transition curve, I can say, okay. So what I'm doing, I'm integrating ds, from where to where, you know, you have to integrate from the initial entropy value Si in the ith phase to Sf value, that is the final value, that is equal to, on the right side it will be, okay, what is that, on the right side it is just integral from, what is the variable there, dv, v is a variable, so vi to vf, dou p over dou t at constant v, into dv, dou p over dou t at constant v into dv. Now what I can do is that, so dou p over dou t, it represents a value at v, it will be having a numerical value, okay. So that will be having a numerical value, so which can be regarded as a constant, and this becomes dou p over dou t at constant v, okay, at constant v into what can be done, into, on integrating, it will be integral dv is v, so it will be vf minus vi. On the left side it will be sf minus si, okay. Now so let me say that is the thing. So that is equal to, on the left side it will be sf minus small sf minus si. That's a direct equation. So that is my equation number 4. Now you know, all along the phase transition curve, P is a function of temperature alone, right? So pressure is a temperature of pressure is a function of, along the phase transition curve, okay, phase curve or phase transition curve, the pressure is a function of, P is a function of temperature alone, okay. So I need not write dou p by dou t at a constant v, okay. So pressure depends on the temperature, so I can just write, instead of dou p by, therefore dou p by dou t, it's written as a partial derivative, dou p by dou t at a constant v, okay. So I can, what I can write, simply I can write this is equal to dp by dt. I need not take dou p by dou t at v, because the pressure is a function of temperature alone. Therefore I can rewrite equation number 4 simply. What is that? Sf minus Si is equal to dp by dt. Instead of dou p by dou t, it is becoming now dp by dt into vf minus vi, or rearranging this, I will get dp by dt is equal to, what is that, Sf minus Si divided by Vf minus Vi, or this is simply written as delta S is not divided by delta V. And this equation which we have arrived in right now is what is known as the Clausius-Clapeyron equation, or it's also known as the first latent heat equation when you are rewriting this one in terms of the latent heat of the corresponding phase transitions. So always remember one thing, what is this Sf and Si? Sf is the molar entropy of the final phase, and Vf is the molar entropy of the final phase, and Si and Vi are the corresponding values for the initial phase. Okay, so if you talk about going from vapor to liquid, of course there will be corresponding changes, okay, in ith and f. So that is the thing. So what is dp by dt? Always remember, dp by dt physically represents what? The slope of the coexistence curve. dp by dt is the slope of the coexistence curve. So we can say that the Clausius-Clapeyron equation is a mathematical relation connecting the slope of the coexist line with the changes in the specific entropy and the volume of the substance as it crosses the line, okay, or during a phase change, okay. And we can use this equation in just studying the phase transitions. You will be able to get the information. For example, you can calculate delta S, because dp by dt can be calculated from the experimental curve, and using that you can calculate the delta S for the system, provided you know what is the delta V. Okay, so that's about the derivation of Clausius-Clapeyron equation by the first method. We will derive this particular equation by another method in the next session. Thank you.